Welcome everybody to the Dallas Sports Pod. My name is Sam HT. Subscribe if you're new, like and comment for more pods just like this. Today we'll be discussing Miami versus Indiana in the national championship, the Miami Heat's recent struggles and what they should do moving forward, and then the Dolphins with their head coaching search, the progress that they've made, and my pick to be the head coach. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very tumultuous and jam-packed weekend of football, especially in the wild card. Okay, so I was watching the wild card weekend, and let me tell you, man, seeing those games and how they played out, just awesome, awesome football, and it just goes to show that it makes you wish that the Dolphins were a part of it. It makes you wish that the Dolphins could be a part of something so special like that, right? Even for the losers, right? Except if you're like the Steelers. Even for the losers, I mean, it's just an incredible. It was just an incredible effort from teams like the Panthers, right? You had incredible efforts from teams like the Eagles. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. My friends are calling me because I got a buzz cut. So give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. What is it with you guys in buzz cuts, man? What is it with you guys in buzz cuts? Buzz cuts are completely fine. All right, but some of them don't know, but that was actually an AI generated video, and they don't know it yet. They will very soon, and it's pretty funny to me. I hope they don't take it personally. It's just a simple joke, guys. It was funny when it happened. Someone told me I should get rid of the facial hair. I'm honestly thinking about that. But anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yes, Miami, Indiana. Miami, Indiana. Yeah, Indiana's a 77.5 point favorite. 7.5 point favorite in this game. Pretty insane given how the Miami Hurricanes have played lately. Given how we've shocked teams again and again. But at the same time, you can't really blame Vegas for thinking Indiana has dog walked everybody. Like everybody in their way later throughout the season, okay? They curb stomped Alabama. They curb stomped Oregon. They've dominated all the way to the national championship. They've dominated. And look, it's safe to say that this team is going no. This team for the foreseeable future is here to stay. Okay, you could say the same thing about the Canes, but Indiana is a team that could potentially be a powerhouse. Now, granted, they have a lot of transfers, a lot of vets on the team, so to speak. We have a couple of vets too. But granted, our best offensive players are freshmen. So I would say that in terms of like experience, Indiana might have the edge just because they have like fifth year, fourth year, 6 year guys on that roster who are big players for them, right? But talent for talent, I don't think that you're gonna find a better team. I think talent for talent, it's pretty significantly Miami, but really the talent you could have said that about Oregon. You could have said that about Alabama. Now you got to think to yourself: are they actually that talented? Are we actually more talented, or is it just that? Are we actually more talented, or is this just us underrating how talented Indiana really is? And they've dominated up until this point, so we'll see. Indiana, while they've been really good all year long, they have been with their bit of we'll call them speed bumps throughout the season, right? Speed bumps against say Iowa, speed bumps against say Penn State, speed bump even against Ohio State, who the U beat. But all those teams were able to contain this offense. Now, how were they able to contain the offense? Well, it's simple, not letting the running backs run around. Okay, Penn State, Iowa, and Ohio State were able to contain the run game at a rate, and they were also able to turn the ball over. Fernando Mendoza did throw a couple interceptions in the games against Ohio State, Iowa, and Penn State. So it's not like Fernando Mendoza is Superman. Okay, this man is human. This man can make mistakes. It's all about really forcing those said mistakes. Don't let this don't let Fernando Mendoza fool anybody. Okay, Fernando Mendoza is going to go number one overall in the NFL draft. Um, but the truth is, the strength of this team is the run game. Okay, this is a team that has run the ball very successfully all year long. And Fernando Mendoza has just added to that by being extremely efficient passing the football, 70% completion percentage, right? 41 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. But you won't see that many passing yards. You won't see as many passing yards because this team loves to run the football. Okay, they love to run the football, right? So there's that. And this team is also very disciplined. They don't make mistakes. They just don't, right? And if they do, they're very minor mistakes that won't cost them, right? They're not turning the ball over, right? They're really just they are a team that you simply cannot make mistakes against, and they will not make mistakes either. So, and those kinds of teams are very difficult to beat every single time, right? So, it's going to be difficult. Now, luckily for us, we have a QB that has not turned the ball over a lot the last month or so. Carson Beck has been very efficient in terms of not turning the ball over. He had one interception against Ole Miss, but that was off a tipped pass at the line of scrimmage, so I'm not really going to put that on Carson Beck. Carson Beck straight up just has not been playing hero ball up until Ole Miss. And against Ole Miss, he played hero ball to the fullest extent. And hey, man, we're in the national championship because of him. Carson Beck just has to keep playing the game he's been playing. It's as simple as that. Don't force anything. Don't force any throws. I understand getting Malachi Tony going. I understand getting Keelan Marion or CJ Daniels going. I understand getting those guys going. And granted, those players are phenomenal. But I much rather us keep it in the hands of the sure-handed Mark Fletcher and Shamar Brown. Okay, those two have been great this postseason. Mark Fletcher in particular has been awesome. He had 133 rushing yards just last game. We have to feed Mark Fletcher must be our best offensive player because if we can control the line of scrimmage and given the size advantage we have over their defensive line, I truly believe we can, although easier said than done. I think Mark Fletcher can have a big game here. I felt like last game we did a lot of passing when we really didn't need to. It felt like we could have just run the ball constantly. Like Mark Fletcher had 22 carries, could have been a lot more. Could have been a lot more. We would have had a lot more success if we did do that. But granted, this Indiana team is no slouch in terms of run defense either. So let's call it what it is. They're a 7.5-point favorite for a reason. Okay, they've dominated every single team in the college football playoff up to this point. But I truly believe that they haven't faced a defensive line or an offensive line or straight up a team like the University of Miami, right? And the Miami Hurricane, and we could say the exact same thing about the Hurricanes facing Indiana. No team is more disciplined. No team has run the ball more successfully. No team has a better quarterback. No team has a better defense. No team is better than what we're about to play in Indiana. Let's get that straight. But I truly think that the talent that the Miami Hurricanes have, if we remain disciplined, if we remain mistake-free, I truly believe that this team can pull it out and come away with the national championship. I truly believe it. And I know a lot of people are really counting out the Canes. I assure you that what happened against Oregon wasn't just Indiana being dominant. It was also Oregon being a bad football team at the same time. Now, they're not a bad program. They're not even a bad team. But you got the absolute worst of Oregon. Absolute worst. 3 turnovers in the first half, all 3 of them within their own territory. Yeah, you're going to blow out a team like that. You are. This is not to discredit Indiana by any means, but the reality is that Oregon played a terrible game. They did. And I just don't expect that from a Carson Beck. I don't expect that from a Malachi Tony. I don't expect that from this offensive line. I don't expect that from the defensive line, which, by the way, I don't think the Indiana Hoosiers have ever played a defensive line as talented as the one that we're going to send to that backfield attacking Mendoza, okay? So, granted, all these things that I just said could be moot because at the end of the day, if we make mistakes, it won't matter. They will win, okay? If we make critical mistakes, they will win the football game. That is how it's gone all year long for Oregon. That is how it's been done all year long for Indiana. Your team makes a mistake, we capitalize off of it, and it's over. So straight up, we have controlled the line of scrimmage and controlled the game every single game in these playoffs. We have. I don't know if we were going to have that same success against Indiana. But if we do, if we play our game, if we do control the line of scrimmage, control the game, and keep the trend going of dominating in the line of scrimmage, then there's no reason that we shouldn't take care of Indiana. Now, obviously, easier said than done. Curt Cignetti has done a phenomenal job over there. The greatest head coach, the greatest program turnaround in college football history. Hell, it might be the greatest turnaround in sports history when you really put in the grand scheme of things what Indiana was as a football program. But they're a 7.5 point favorite, like I've been saying. Miami's going to be at home. Even though they're going to be the away team, they're going to be at home in Hard Rock Stadium. I do expect Indiana to show up. I don't expect it to be just a full house of Canes. I really don't. But I do expect the home crowd to represent, like we did in the Fiesta Bowl, like we did in the Cotton Bowl. I fully expect us to represent. It's going to be a hard game, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get it twisted. This is not supposed to be a game that is, and even the analysis that I gave you, very vague analysis. I understand that. It is very vague analysis. The truth is that everything that has built up to this point, wipe it off. Wipe it off. Wipe it off. Straight up, these two teams have never played a team like each other. They've never played a team. Miami hasn't played a team like Indiana, and Indiana sure as hell hasn't played a team like Miami. That's the bottom line. So now what we have to find out is what team is going to make the most mistakes. Which team is going to take care of the ball? Which team is going to win the national championship? I'm confident in my Canes. I am very confident in my Canes. If we do lose, no shame in the season that we've had. And the same thing can be said about the Indiana Hoosiers. Although I do feel there will be a bit of a failure narrative thrown in there. I don't think so. But, I mean, given how the season has gone, given the favorite that you are in this Hurricanes game, I don't know. Would it be a failure if Indiana doesn't get it done? Because I don't think it's a failure to what Miami Hurricanes are doing, given what has happened. It's been a magical run for both of these teams. It all comes to an end Monday night. I will be very, very nervous, to say the least. Very, very nervous. But I believe that the Miami Hurricanes can get it done. The Miami Heat have got to pick a lane. I understand that wasn't a very good segue whatsoever. I don't really care because the Miami Heat don't deserve a good segue because they've segued from the Jimmy Butler era to just a nothing era, right? There was the Norman Powell era for a couple of games, and we were for a stretch of games, and we were all excited. Norman Powell's probably going to be an all-star this year. But yeah, that's for nothing because we are 20-19, and we've lost 4 out of our last 5 games. One of those losses being against the Indiana Pacers. And I'm not talking about a close clutch game loss. I'm talking about we got our keister kicked in against the Indiana Pacers. We got absolutely stomped out. And shame on us. Shame on us. A team that's clearly not in the run for the Eastern Conference. And yet we get dominated like that. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Nothing else needs to be said about this team that hasn't already been said. We're just average. We're a mediocre franchise. And I don't think, and I can't believe it, but I don't think Pat Riley seems to understand that. I don't think Pat Riley seems to understand that we have been losing every single first round of the playoffs, aside from some anomalies since 2023. No, actually, since 2023, we've been losers. Let's call it what it is. We've been losers. And then last year was a tumultuous season. Jimmy Butler quit on the team, essentially. And now we're here, and you said that you were going to make changes. The changes ended up being Norman Powell, and the change has worked for a second, and then after a month, 2 months, the team got figured out. And we have Bam Adebayo having a career year, the worst season since he became an all-star. I want to bring up the statistics because I think that it's just so unbelievably sad how much he's fallen off as an offensive player. We all know how good he is defensively, but it has just been unacceptable lately. Bam Adebayo is now averaging 16 points per game. He's averaging 10 rebounds, so he's still averaging a double-double. Check this. He is shooting 44% from the field. That is a career low. 31% from three. So he added a three-point shot. It's falling 32% from the field. So not exactly desirable. But for a big man, he has been bad. He's been bad. And I can't defend him. Why would I defend him? Why would anybody defend him? Is he hurt? If he's hurt, we're better off him being out. Because he's not helping us right now. And we're about to enter a homestand where we're going to face, I believe it's Phoenix, I believe it's Boston, and I believe it's Oklahoma City. And if that stretch of games turns out how I think it's going to turn out, Miami is going to be under 500 very soon. So back where we've been the last couple of years. It's been a pathetic effort. And it's not just Bam Adebayo, because Bam Adebayo is probably the least of our problems, of course. But Tyler Hero is not healthy. He's not healthy. He hasn't been healthy since the beginning of the year. And the truth is that I don't expect him to be healthy for his contract extension. The Miami Heat aren't going to pay him. Why would they pay him? Because if you pay him and you don't pay Jimmy Butler, what exactly are we doing here? It has to be a team-friendly deal if Tyler Hero wants to come back. It can't be $40 million. It just can't. It can't be $40 million. I'm sorry. He's been out all year long, and it doesn't help that we started off the season good. We started off the season hot. Miami Heat basketball was excited to watch again for the first time in years. And then Hero comes back, and it's like when Hero came back, the energy got sucked out of the building. Because when Hero came back and he started, the offense started to go back to its usual ways. And then on top of that, and then on top of that, Norman Powell wasn't really getting in a lot of rhythm. Jaime Jaquez Jr., who's been having a phenomenal third year in the league, his rhythm was kind of off when Tyler Hero came back. What else are we supposed to do with Tyler Hero? What else is there to do? The Heat play tonight at 7:30. I'm not excited to watch this team play basketball whatsoever. I'm not. And this is the same feeling I had last year throughout the year. And what absolutely sucks about this is that we're the 8th seed. We are the 8th seed right now. So we're about to be in the play-in again, along with our buddies, the Atlanta Hawks and the Chicago Bulls. Luckily, not that far off are the Milwaukee Bucks. And I hate this narrative that we need a trade for somebody. What is Ja Morant going to do with this roster? Who are we trading away for him? What is Ja Morant going to do? We're a 20-19 basketball team. What is Ja Morant going to do? What is Giannis going to do? What is a superstar going to do? What is a superstar going to do right now? What is Ja Morant? Well, maybe Giannis might lead us to some more wins, but is this a championship team right now? We're 20-19. The foundation might be there, but why would stars want to play here? Why would they want to play with a Tyler Hero who's never healthy? With a Bam Adebayo who's seemingly turned into a one-trick pony and is only a great defensive player and just hasn't clicked offensively? Why would anybody want to play here right now? Given the Heat's strict diet, given the Heat's strict regimen, all that uptightness that the Heat run, the Heat culture, and we're at 500. Mind you, this team is not depraved of talent. We have Norman Powell. We have Andrew Wiggins. We have Jaime Jaquez Jr. We have Tyler Hero when he's healthy. We have Bam Adebayo. We still do our little gem thing. Pele Larson is awesome. Drew Smith, Davion Mitchell. This team is not deprived of talent. But we're still average. We're still an average team. We are. And that's frustrating. I don't know about you guys, but that's frustrating. I cannot stand watching a team. Look, we all know this as Dolphins fans, right? Being mediocre sucks. It sucks. Going nowhere fast sucks. I hate it. I don't want it. And so Pat Riley needs to make a decision. We have to be sellers at the deadline. We have to be sellers. Andrew Wiggins, we should be willing to trade him to LA now. We should. Norman Powell, I bet a contender would love Norman Powell. They would love Norman Powell. They would. Now, I don't know about trading Bam. I don't think people are going to want Bam. I know that's crazy to think, but what team is going to want Bam right now? Maybe only a contender. What do they have to give? We're going to need a lot of first-round picks. I'm straight up tired of this team, man. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing this team constantly just be average. The glory days are gone. We haven't won a championship in years. In a decade. In over a decade now. Yes, we've been to the finals in this decade. That's awesome. That's awesome. Any plan? Is there any plan to build upon that? Or are you just going to be thankful that the Heat have a loyal fan base? Straight up, trade away all the guys for first round picks and just have a youth movement. Where? Jovic, as much as I'm frustrated with him. Jaquez Jr., is he worth an extension? We're approaching, he's in year 3. We're approaching eventually him having to need extension talks, man. We're going to need something. We're going to need to figure that out very soon. Kasparis Yakuchonis, I want to know what he's got. Respectfully, I love Davion Mitchell, love Drew Smith. I'm not interested right now. They're great glue guys. As a matter of fact, I trade Davion Mitchell too. Those are glue guys. But this team is not contending. So what's the point of a glue guy if he's not gluing anything together? It's frustrating. It's frustrating to say the least. And honestly, it's becoming more and more apparent that this organization seems content with what we've done. Seems content being at 500. Kind of like the Steelers. Are the Miami Heat the Steelers of the NBA? We're just going to make the play-in, barely make the playoffs, and then first round exits. I don't want to be that. Why would I want to be that? 2 straight years we've been embarrassed in the first round. 2 straight years we were embarrassed. I don't want to go through that again, respectfully. I don't want to go through that. At all. Whatsoever. I'm speechless as to how we're even at this spot, but what can you do, man? What can you do? So my plan, be sellers at the deadline. Be sellers. Sell at the deadline. This team is going nowhere. Sell. Sell at the deadline. Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins. Move on from them. Move on from them. Because no star is coming. No star is coming. The Heat are too stingy to trade for one. And Ja Morant's not going to help us. He's not. It's been a frustrating year this year, especially after the hot start that the Miami Heat had. It's just frustrating going back to what we were. Such a shame. And the truth is, I don't know what's going to change unless Pat Riley steps down. What's going to incite change? Is Spo going to have to step down? Are we going to have to fire Spo? I don't want to fire Spo. That's asinine. I don't know what we got to do, but we got to figure it out. Last topic of the day, the Miami Dolphins. They have a list of head coaching interviews that they are going to be taking place, I believe. Some of them have already taken place. Some of them are scheduled to take place very, very soon. My favorite candidate, I'll reveal in just a second, but here's a list of the former head coaches and coordinators that are going to be meeting with the Miami Dolphins or have already met with the Miami Dolphins. We have Chris Shula from the Rams, defensive coordinator. We have Niners defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. We have former Ravens head coach John Harbaugh, former Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, Lions defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard, Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, and Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter. A lot of people are not going to like this take. I don't mind the idea of bringing Robert Saleh back at all. At all. I don't mind it. I feel like what he did with the Jets is underappreciated. Very underappreciated. Because it's the Jets, first of all. I mean, Aaron Glenn could be a good head coach. We will never know. He looks bad right now. But that organization is cursed, bro. That organization is cursed. It is a cursed organization. It is. It is. And I feel like giving Robert Saleh a shot wouldn't be a bad idea. It would not be a bad idea whatsoever. Another guy I like, Clint Kubiak. I would love Clint Kubiak, given what he's done with Sam Darnold. Given what he's done with Jackson Smith and Jigba. Unlocking him. This team, that offense is really not the strength of the team. I still think Mike McDonald and that defense really hold their own. But the offense is damn good. And shout out to Sam Darnold. I would absolutely love to have a guy like Clint Kubiak. I wouldn't be mad at that. Chris Shula is another that I wouldn't mind either. Just Chris Shula is interesting because of obviously, the ties to Don Shula. So I wouldn't be mad at it. But really the candidates that I think the Dolphins are going to really shoot for are Kevin Stefanski and John Harbaugh, and rightfully so. I think John Harbaugh in Miami would be great. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at Stefanski being here either. The same thing I said about Robert Saleh is the same thing I'm going to say about Kevin Stefanski. It's the Browns. Okay. Good luck. It's the Browns. But those are the head coaching options. The options I don't want at all, like whatsoever. I could go without Kelvin Shepard. Man. I don't want Kelvin Shepard. I think Jesse Minter is interesting. He's an interesting candidate. After pondering on it, I don't know if I'd want him to be a head coach given the other options that we have. And then Jeff Hafley, he just has ties to John Eric Sullivan. So, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And Jeff Hafley, I will say after Micah Parsons went down, the defense started to struggle a bit. But we'll see. We'll see who the Dolphins pick. I like the teams. I like the candidates that we've chosen. You'll notice each and every one of these candidates have been a part of either winning seasons, winning organizations, or have had success as former head coaches. Chris Shula, Rams defensive coordinator. Winning organization. That's the Rams. Robert Saleh is not just a former head coach, Niners defensive coordinator. Did you just see what he just did to the Eagles? Granted, it's the Eagles, and their offense has sucked all year, but he did a fantastic job there. Clint Kubiak with Seattle. Look how they've turned the season around. After 1 year, they missed the playoffs. This year, they won the division. Jeff Hafley, look, the Packers defense, say what you want about it. Yeah, it struggled without Micah Parsons. I still think he could build something. Ultimately, of all these candidates, I want a leader of men. I want a leader of men. Mike McDaniel was a good offensive mind. Some would call him an offensive genius. But he wasn't a leader of men. He just wasn't. He's going to try to get a head coaching job somewhere else, and credit to him. Maybe it works out. But in my opinion, he just wasn't a leader of men. And I think that's ultimately why I was okay with him being let go by the Miami Dolphins. It's going to be interesting to see how the Miami Dolphins handle this moving forward. I'm excited. I will say this is the most I've been excited about an offseason in a very long time. I'm curious to see who John Eric Sullivan brings in, who he fires, what players he cuts, what players he likes, doesn't like. We'll see what happens, but I'm liking the way the Miami Dolphins are doing this. I'm really liking it. I'm really enjoying it. All right. That's going to do it for today's episode of the Dallas Sports Pod. A bit of a shorter episode. When I'm by myself, I don't like talking too much. Well, I'm lying. I do like talking. What am I talking about here? That's going to do it for today's episode of the Dallas Sports Pod. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe if you are new. Hype the video if you're using your mobile phone. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Sammy HT, and I will see you guys next time. Dale.